Hello, everybody. You caught me chewing. Well, unfortunately, there's nobody here yet. So, hi, I'm Leticia Remauro, and you've landed on Let's Talk News. Not sure why there's nobody here yet, but okay, we have a lot to talk about tonight. We're going to talk about all the things that are happening with Eric Swalwell, with the Department of Justice, with the DNI, Tulsi Gabbard. Apparently, President Joe Biden, or whoever was pulling the strings for President Joe Biden, were very naughty. They were not following the rules of the Constitution. They were weaponizing the DOJ, and they were utilizing rules incorrectly, mostly against pro-life protesters or activists, let's put activists, but also against President Trump. We found out through Tulsi Gabbard that the Biden administration had actually hidden information, and I'm not exactly sure how they hid it, but let me not explain it to you. Let me let the experts explain it to you. Okay, so here we go.
The Trump administration is dropping declassified records, which, according to Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard, shows a coordinated effort to impeach President Trump during his first term.
You're going to want to hear this one. Correspondent Alana Austin live on Capitol Hill with the details. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, Christina and Sean. And what Tulsi Gabbard, the Director of National Intelligence, is alleging here is that bureaucratic operatives pushed forward information from biased sources and led to the underpinnings of the 2019 impeachment effort against President Donald Trump. Now, we know that effort was unsuccessful in leading to removal from office, but Gabbard says this was potentially an attempt to tank his presidency. She is pinning the blame on former Inspector General Michael Atkinson for bypassing what she says are the standard operating procedures, pushing forward a whistleblower complaint as credible when it was based on secondhand information. Now, Gabbard is also criticizing one of the whistleblowers as a registered Democrat who previously worked closely with former President Joe Biden in Ukraine. Another source had close ties to disgraced former FBI agent Peter Strzok. We know he harbored very strong anti-Trump viewpoints. Now, regarding these findings, Gabbard says this: deep state actors within the intelligence community concocted a false narrative that was used by Congress to usurp the will of the American people and impeach the duly elected president of the United States. Inspector General Atkinson failed to uphold his responsibility to the American people, putting political motivations over the truth. We know, Christina and Sean, lawmakers are heading back to town here in Washington, D.C. It'll be a busy week ahead, but we look forward to hearing reactions to these new findings.
Okay, so basically, just so that I have it correct, because I said it incorrectly. Biden was related to the case, not in that he was in charge, because he wasn't. It was bureaucrats who were in place under the Obama-Biden era, who were still there when Trump was president, who actually were putting forth information that was not credible. That's number one. And also withholding information from Trump and Trump's team to, I guess, pose a better defense for the impeachment. So they didn't know exactly where Trump's team didn't know, like, where the stuff was coming from, like this whistleblower situation. It wasn't it was a third-hand account. So it was somebody said something. It's kind of like that soldiers being whatever disparaging comment that some people said that Trump said when he was in France, which turned out to not be true. There was nobody there that heard it firsthand. It was a third-hand account from a general who didn't like Trump as commander in chief, and but news organizations ran with it. So this is what's going on, or was going on, under the Obama people who were held over, and it's still going on today. And then under Biden, it was a whole different story, and I'll get to that in a second. But I just want to say hello to everybody. But I want you to think about this for a little bit. I want you to think about the fact that we all kind of knew what was happening. We all knew something was wrong. We all knew that this impeachment stuff was rigged, and especially after Russiagate, because they'd been going after Trump from the minute he came down the escalator, right? So we had Russiagate right off the bat with Hillary. And then, we have the impeachments with Pelosi, not just one, but twice. And the holdovers that were there, and we know that Obama was spying on the Trump campaign. I mean, this was stuff that when it happened under Nixon, it caused him to resign from office. And somehow or another, Obama and Biden, they walk around with their head held high because they have successfully managed to hoodwink a lot of people who are their followers. And that's crazy. Kevin from the other side of the world, but the same side of the issues. How are you, Kevin Wall? Francine De Gregorio, how are you today? Angela Ricca is with us. Karen Judson, how are you? Aloha, I heard the call, swallow. Well, now at the nickname. Yeah, well, it's pretty bad. I have the clip. I'll show it for anybody who hasn't seen it. Obama, I believe, was directing Biden, Executive Order 13603 from Obama, legalized slavery and much more. I believe that. Obama said he would want a third term if he didn't have to be the guy out front. And he said that supposedly in jest, but I don't think it was in jest. I think he got it. I think he figured out a way to do it. Hi, Ramon. Good to have you. Hello, Professor. Good to have you. Hi, Lucille. Thank you for watching. Hi, Kevin and Susan Durema. Oh, the whole team is here. I see Colleen. Hi, everybody. Thank you all for coming and watching. And it's just distressing. It really, really is distressing that we were right. I would rather have been wrong. I would have preferred to be wrong, because if I was wrong, then it meant that the government wasn't as fucked up as I believed it was. No Democrat could have achieved what Trump is doing. You're right about that. Absolutely. Obama got his third term during the Biden administration. Yeah, that's kind of what we're saying. So unbelievable what's been going on right in front of us. And the demon rats kept saying nothing going on here. What the fuck? But that's the thing, is that they still do it. They call him a pedophile. They show pictures of him with his kids and say it's pedophilia. But Biden's daughter's diary was read, and it's clearly stated in her hand, her diary, that her father used to come into the shower while she was there and creep her out. And no, we're going to deny it. Biden, there was an accuser, Mary, I forget her name, who was an aide to Biden when he was a senator, who said that he sexually molested her, misconduct, and nothing ever happened. I would love to see, what is this in my eyeballs? I would love to see Mace's resolution, HR 1100, get passed, and let's see all the payouts from these senators. And I'd love to see if Biden's name was on it, just for shits and giggles. Just for shits and giggles. Samsung cut me off last night. Oh, I was wondering what happened to you. Tara Reid. Yeah. Oh, good for you. God, I love smart Smart. Kevin, something weird was going on with my phone. I had to shut it off and turn it back on. Same thing with my laptop today. I was worried I was not going to be able to do the show for a little while because I was having such a hard time today. But today I got a lot of things done. Today I was playing in my garden. And I changed my garden and I love my new garden. I should have taken a picture to show you the before and after. But did you ever, I don't know if I have any gardeners that watch, but I am a gardener. I've always been. I love landscape architecture. That's why I loved working in Battery Park City. I loved just creating, spaces of green spaces for peace and comfort and, for different reasons. At any rate, when we got this condo 20 some years ago, for whatever reason in my association, the people who own downstairs usually tend the garden unless the association is tending the garden, which they're supposed to be greenery and things like that. But something went wrong in my garden and all the shrubs died. So I wound up with this big dust bowl. So my mom was good enough to put some azaleas in for me. And there were some trees, bushes. And that was it. It was just a big dust bowl with 4 azaleas and an overgrown bush. And so for years, I've been kind of trying to make something of it. And I just couldn't do it. And I've spent a good amount of money on it too. The everything I planted died and blah, 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 blah. Anyway, fast forward to now 24 years later. Today I did it. Over the last 4 years, we've been feeding the soil nutritional, enhancements and stuff. And I was able to go to Lowe's and buy exactly what plants I wanted. And I managed to get my garden to look good. So I'm going to show you a picture next week. Tomorrow when I'll take a picture so that you can see the before and the after. Very, very thrilled with it because now I can go outside and have coffee and look at my garden. And I like that. I found it interesting. A variety of videos showing Biden's earlobes were totally different after years. Yeah, but that happens with old men. I mean, it happens with old women too. Listen, when I was young, my boobs were up here. Now they're on my knees. It happens. Earlobes droop too. I'm sure some of your man parts are not in the same place that they were before. Samsung said you have to transfer to Google Message. Oh, I'm having that too. Oh my God. Oh, and so is that what did it? I don't know about this whole Google messaging shit. But yeah, they're not doing the message anymore. So, but I thought that was just for text messaging. I didn't know it would wreck everything else. Till the soil 6 inches and mix in manure. That's exactly what I did. But the problem is that there's a magnolia tree. It's got to be 40 feet tall with what do you call that? An umbrella of about 30 feet. It is just beautiful. And it is 10 feet away from my garden. So guess where the roots are, which is what I'm guessing was killing all the plants because it's taking up all the soil. There wasn't enough soil for those and enough water for those what I was planting. So what I did was I added more soil and I added a shit ton of mulch and manure. So instead of digging, I put on top. I raised it up, put it on top because we got to keep the magnolia tree living, but I want some other plants too. It can't just be the magnolia tree. Okay. God bless you. Would love to see the pictures. Okay, good. I will send you the pictures. Hi, Gloria. Books up to here. Oh, boobs. No, not books. Boobs. I have boobs up to here. They were standing up on their own. Now, not so much. I have lots of pics of Biden and eyes and nose and head were different too. But it happens. Your nose gets bigger. I mean, I used to have a little button nose. Look. It happens. Everything changes when you get old. And you know it. I mean, look at anybody. Yeah, anybody that you could track from a kid, there's child stars that you could track them, and they're all different. I know, it's a whole, whole thing, but I do think it's Joe Biden, and I think he's fucking crazy. And if you look at his eyes, he's vacant. He's gone. He's done. We got schnookered. We knew that election was not correct, and they knew what they were doing. But there was not once Congress certified it, there was nothing we could do according to the Constitution. That's why so many of us were there on January 6th to try to convince Congress to wait before ratifying that vote and to have a hearing before ratifying that vote, because there was so much information out there about the elections being weird in all the states. And they knew exactly what to do. They sent in agitators, they created havoc, and they got everybody who were going to not ratify the vote to ratify it. Nancy Pelosi is an evil fucking genius, and Trump didn't see her coming. Growing plants and vegetables is fun, and I miss it. Can't grow anything here in Honolulu. Not enough dirt. Well, you know what? My daughter bought me. This is the coolest thing, Robert. My daughter bought me a hydroponic plant thing. I don't know how much she paid for it, probably like $150. But I'm growing lettuce and all kinds of things in this hydroponic container. And I do a lot of container planting too, because of what had happened with the soil. I just got, Home Depot buckets, and I grew tomato plants last year in the $5 Home Depot buckets. And today, both Home Depot and Lowe's had soil on sale for $2 each, and mulch on sale for $2 each. So I just filled the buckets with, and it doesn't have to look pretty, right? I put a lot of rocks around it. You got lava rocks around there, put rocks around it. Paint them in buckets. It's fun and it works. And you could really control the soil. He's been gone for a while. He really has. That election was absolute fraud, no question. Right. But once it got certified, we have no recourse. That's just the way the Constitution works. And that's why we were there, to try and stop them from certifying, to ask them, please, to have a hearing. That's not what the news tells you we were there to do, but that's what we were there to do. Please have a hearing. Please have a hearing, and let us tell you all the hinky things that happened. Nancy was one of the leaders of the swamp and was the worst, and still is. She is still in control. And I just like to know whose hand is up her ass. She's a smart woman. Really, really smart woman. The devil's hand usually is, right? With all the high rises, block the sun. Yeah, mine too. I have the same thing. Listen, I have the magnolia tree blocks all my sun. So I chase the sun around. With my tomato plants, I move them around to make sure that they get the sun. Maybe you don't want to work that hard. I do. I love it. I am happiest when I am covered, in dirt from head to toe. That's why I have the hat on. My hair is filthy. I just washed it last night. It's filthy already. But I am happiest when I put a seed in and I see it grow. And I'm so excited this year because guess what happened? Here's my little story. So last year around May, it was for Memorial Day. We had a little barbecue and somebody brought a Greek salad, and it had tomatoes in it, the little grape tomatoes. And so we were over by the pool. We have like a little patio. We don't have a clubhouse. We have a patio section. So we were there, and we were rinsing the dishes before we gave them back to the people that brought the stuff. We rinsed it with the garden hose so that they didn't have to walk home with greasy, crappy stuff. And so we rinsed all the dishes in this little area right near the hose. And one day I'm walking past and I see these two little plants. I mean, they were that big, but I recognized them as tomato plants. And the area that they were growing in was what I said. We rinse everything there. Cars get washed there, golf balls, golf bags, beachwear, everything gets. So who knows what was in there? But here's these two little tomato plants growing. So I scoop them up, and I had some Home Depot containers, and I put dirt in it. I didn't even put good dirt in it. I just put dirt in it. And I put those tiny little tomato plants in there. And yeah, they grew. They grew to these enormous cherry tomatoes. They could have been better if I had good dirt. And we got tons of cherry tomatoes, and they tasted like the tomatoes I ate in Italy. So, at any rate, I kept a couple of the tomatoes and I cut out the seeds and I started more plants from them. And that's what I'm planting this year. And I also had this great Jersey tomato. I guess it was in January. I bought it from one of our local farmers market who actually comes from Jersey, and they bring in the fresh Jersey produce. So it was this big old tomato and it tasted really good. So I took out some seeds of one and I'm growing those too. And the other thing was some peppers that I got from the grocery store that were great, orange, red, and yellow, and they were really, really sweet and tasty. So I took those seeds too. And so now I have all these things. Now, you might say, where am I going to plant these in a condo? Well, I bought myself a little metal 4x2x1 ring, and we live on an abandoned golf course, which makes me very, very sad. Well, my husband mowed some of the area, and I'm putting those rings right there, and I'm planting them there. Because if I can't have my golf course, then and nobody comes around there. People walk their dogs on the paths and stuff. It's abandoned. So I'm going to make a farm there. I'll plant some squash, some peppers, some tomatoes. I can't do it on the condo property because they're worried about rats and other rodents getting in, and we've had rodents come in and they've actually wrecked people's homes. So anyway, okay, you chase the sun too. God. The world is falling apart and you're talking about gardening. I'm laughing. It's a metaphor. It's a metaphor. Gardening is a metaphor for how to fix the world. Trump is the gardener. Okay? Hear me out. Trump sees that the soil has been toxic for a long time. So now he's digging 6 feet and he's going to put all the horse shit in there, or the cow shit in there, the manure in there. And now he's going to plant some new seeds, which is truth, justice, and the American way. How do you like that, Gary? How do you like that? Jersey tomatoes are the best. They are. I take old potatoes and dig a hole and plant them. I get some nice sized potatoes. I was thinking about doing that, but I'm already pushing my luck on the golf course. But if the farm works on the golf course this year, I'll do it next year. I grew a potato from a potato I planted in the ground. I used to eat tomatoes like apples. They don't taste the same as 40 years ago. Agreed. So that's why you got to get it. Get them as seeds and thanks, Gary. Get them as seeds. You'll find the one that tastes good, right? When you get that one that tastes really good, plant it, Kevin, because just take the seeds, soak the seeds in water. First, dry them, dry all that gook off, like for 2 weeks, and then soak the seeds in water, and you'll see they start to sprout little legs. When they start to sprout little legs, put them in a good potting soil. And then I have this concoction of yeast and buttermilk and baking soda and what's the other thing? Oh, and molasses. And you put it together. It's combustible. It's got a lot of gas in it, but you feed the soil with it. And that's what I've been feeding my soil with. It's really good stuff. Yes, China is in a mess. Yeah. So do you see what he's doing? I mean, and Iran. Yeah. Okay. He's outsmarted all of them. He is the major gardener here, and he is replanting, and I'm not going to say democracy, but freedom around the globe. I found out something today, just because this is how my brain works. This morning, I got up and I asked, Alexa, so this is Alexa information. How many fascists or dictators are there worldwide? 59. 59. Oh, Alexa off. 59 dictators worldwide. 89 countries that are considered free. So that's like 40% of the countries.
As of 2026.
Alexa off. So like 40% of the countries are run by dictators. We need Donald Trump. I grew a Mary Jane plant from a seed in an egg carton. Is it still alive? Was it good? Did it work? I can't do that because I fall asleep. But I would rather do that than buy it from anybody else. I don't trust anybody anymore. Puppet Master, yeah, indeed. Not for nothing. Where do you think Italy got tomatoes from? I don't know. I don't know. I never thought of it. Didn't they just always have them? Roma? I mean, I don't know. Where did they come from? Were they from China? I don't know. Because they grow really delicious in Italy. I mean, I never, ever. My grandparents brought seeds over from Italy back in the day. And my grandfather used those tomatoes like Kevin. I used to eat them right off the plants as a little kid. They were the most delicious tomatoes they were San Marzanos. They were gorgeous. I loved them. China tried to get through the blockade. I know. It's funny. They come from Timu. God, I love Gary. Well, while I ponder where that happened from, let's talk about the FACE Act and what Trump just pardoned a whole bunch of senior citizens who were sitting in jail for expressing their First Amendment right.
We have a set of pardons for peaceful pro-life protesters who were prosecuted by the Biden administration for exercising their First Amendment rights.
Do you know how many?
I believe it's 23, sir.
23 people were prosecuted. They should not have been prosecuted. Many of them are elderly people. They should not have been prosecuted. This is a great honor to sign this. They'll be very happy. So they're all in prison now.
Some are out of custody.
It's ridiculous.
So the Trump administration fired 4 Justice Department prosecutors involved in cases against anti-abortion activists, accusing the Biden administration of abusing a law designed to protect abortion clinics from obstruction and threats. The terminations came before the release of a report accusing the Biden administration of biased prosecutions under the Freedom of Access to Clinic Entrances Act, or FACE Act. This department will not tolerate a 2-tiered system of justice, Todd Blanchard, the acting attorney general, said in a statement. The report is the first released from the Justice Department's Weaponization Working Group, created by former Attorney General Pam Bondi to scrutinize the federal prosecutions of President Donald Trump and other cases criticized by conservatives. Biden's Attorney General Merrick Garland and Jack Smith, the special counsel who prosecuted Trump, have said they followed only the facts, the evidence, and the law in their decisions. The Biden administration brought cases against dozens of defendants under the FACE Act, which makes it illegal to physically obstruct or use the threat of force to intimidate or interfere with a person seeking reproductive health services, and prohibits damaging property at abortion clinics and other centers. It was signed into law in 1994. So these people, the 29, were not, they're in their 70s and 80s. They were not blocking anything. They were just taken away. Because that's what Biden do. That's what Obama does. That's what the left does. They do not believe in free speech. but Donald Trump does. And he has got the weed killer. And he's going to kill them all. China is not doing anything now. They can't afford fuel for their ships anymore. Trump cut them off. Yeah. And Iran too. I mean, now even the left news is saying Trump kind of won the war. I always thought it. Yeah. Never trust Timu. No, Timu is bad. I would never buy anything there. I was in a militia. A friend told me the leader gave up members to the FBI and another government group. I was in Carlisle Light Infantry, and they told me an office DC looked at them every month. Wow, that's interesting. Well, I would imagine that would be so, right? Is that the government is afraid of militias, but the Constitution allows us to have one. Yes, Timu is Chinese. I'm pro-life for the record. If I decide to run from public service office here in Hawaii. Oh, good. I have always been pro-choice, but because I believe that decision is between a woman and her God. But I also believe that the states have the right, not the federal government, to decide. And so I love what happened with the reversal of Roe v. Wade. But I've always said that I don't think any woman, except for some of these crazies on the left, would want to choose abortion if they knew that they recognized that there was a baby growing inside them, because a lot of these girls, they detach because these lefty lunatics are trying to tell them that these aren't babies, these are fetuses. But those same lefty lunatics, when they're in their 40s and they finally want to have a baby and they spend hundreds of thousands of dollars trying to get artificially inseminated, then all of a sudden it's a fetus. Go figure. So I always said, let's get money for abortion and let's educate for adoption, and let's educate on adoption, and let's stop spending money. We should not be spending tax dollars for abortion. It should not be taxpayer funded. Absolutely no. Absolutely no. And neither should 1,000 children, if you choose not to use birth control, be taxpayer funded. Just sorry, no. All right, I just want to show you quickly the Swalwell's victims. Lana, I forget her name. Anyway.
I did not consent to any sexual activity. Although I did not undergo a rape kit at the time, I disclosed the assault to the people closest to me. I also recorded these events in my handwritten calendar. The assault and its impact were later documented during my therapy sessions at a sexual assault center in Connecticut. It had a profound impact on my mental health. I self-medicated in an unhealthy way. I did not want to live anymore.
Immediately.
Do I believe it happened? Yep. Do I believe that that woman is weaponizing that story right now? Yep. I don't know what Swalwell did to the Democrat Party, but he did something bad, and he did it to Nancy Pelosi, I'm sure, because they all turned on him, and they're doing whatever they can to, I guess, maybe destroy him, because maybe he knows too much. Oh, maybe he knows too much. Here's the thing. I have firsthand experience with unwanted attention. And when it happened to me, I went to the police. I was shooken. I was upset. But I went to the police. And I was able to stop my attacker by talking and using my wits. One time I was really good looking and young. But we know that that's not what rape is all about, right? It's about anger and violence. But anyway, when I went to the police didn't even want to talk to me. And that was back in the 80s. They didn't want to talk to me. They, figured I was okay. It didn't get to that point. It was a near rape. But the thing was, is that guy had, I don't like to say the word because then YouTube stops you from, um, your stuff from showing. But that guy had done that to many girls in the area where I was. So I wanted to give a description to the cops, and the cops didn't want to hear about it. But I ran right to the police department because it was before cell phones. Later on, unfortunately, it happened to a girl and took her. Gone. Again, I don't say the words because YouTube. I can't believe this woman went home and wrote it in her diary, but didn't call the cops. And yes, I understand that he was powerful. He was a congressman and blah, 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 blah. But all of a sudden, he's running for governor and you decide to come out. I know people will tell me that, one woman decides to have the courage to speak and then a whole bunch come out, but I don't think so. I think I have a problem with this kind of stuff. I saw it with Kavanaugh. I saw it with Trump. I saw it with many people many times. So, but do I believe it happened? Yes. Was it consenting? You probably was for a little while. And then she said, oh, no, stop, because I understand he's a freak in the sheets. So who knows? Okay. Tomatoes originated in Colombia, 16th century. Interesting. What originated? Well, how'd they get there? 16th century. You don't tell me that a tomato just happened in the 16th century. Is it a combination of two fruits? What I don't believe is just how long they kept it a secret. Yeah, well, that's it. Is everybody knew? It was everybody in DC knew about Swalwell. Yeah, it's all documented against Swalwell. That's why he resigned. Document everything every day. That's what I do. No, I get it. But you know what I mean? Is that all of a sudden everybody comes out of the woodwork? I don't love it. But I believe her. I know. I'm sure it happened. I'm sure that it happened as she said. If you look at her, you say, It's the same as the woman that came out against Kavanaugh. It's the same as E. Jean Carroll coming out against Trump. You're like, what? I don't know. We are over again. We got to go. Thank God for our President Trump. He never stops fighting and saving America. We're going to call him Gardner and the world. He never gets the acknowledgement for his success, and it's such a disgrace what they've done to Trump and the U.S. and continue to do to the U.S. Okay. Yeah. There is a movie that I don't know if any of you watched, but look for it. It's called Being There. And I can't remember the star's name, but the center character in the movie was Chauncey Gardner, and it's about DC politics. And of course, today's conversation about the garden and Trump and whatever reminded me of it. See if you can find it on Netflix. Being There. And oh God, he played Inspector Clouseau in the Pink Panther. If anybody can remember his name. Wait, hold on, let me see if I can pull it up. I want to say Sellers, but it's not that. Being There, the movie. Okay, there he is. It is. It's let's see. Hold on. Peter Sellers, it is. So it's Peter Sellers and Shirley MacLaine. And let me tell you, it's hysterical. Peter Sellers plays a gardener to a politician or billionaire or something in DC. And the man dies and he's left there, but he's simple. He's, I mean, really simple. Doesn't speak much. He's not very smart. He's a little slow. And the man dies and leaves him everything. And now, like, all of the Washington types start coming over and talking to him, and he speaks to them in garden speak about tilling the soil. And these lunatics think that he's speaking in metaphors, and they think he's the most brilliant guy around, and they wind up electing him to something. Check it out. It's a great movie. It's funny as hell. And I think it's a good commentary on Washington. All right, I'll see you tomorrow at 8 o'clock. Love you all. And I'll bring pictures of my garden.